Good evening, Gary Devon. How are you?
Good evening, Denise Donnelly. How are you?
Oh, thank you so much for joining us. And what a fun week of getting to know you as much as we can. First of all, I loved your studio, your visit on the video you sent us. Your studio looks perfect.
I saw all the other perfect studios that people
It's
ordered.
all about the space.
It's a mess, but it's organized chaos. It's organized chaos.
Exactly. Yeah. No, we can see that. So yeah, you've been an artist full time really from day one, haven't you? Can you tell us how it all started? And your first show, I think, was at age 11, which is quite interesting. Can you tell us about that?
I can. That's right. I had a little show when I was 11, thanks to a local book owner who knew my mum and dad. And I don't know how he came to see the paintings, but maybe it was through a mutual friend of his who had a paint shop or a shop in Bangor, which was kind of a DIY shop, which also sold oil paints. But I'd started perhaps about a year before that, because I found an old set of oil paints that my mother had bought my brother as a present, and he had shown no interest in them at all. So I picked them up and had a go and started painting and just.
Have you, the paintings that you did for that show at age 11? Have you ever seen any of them? Have any of them popped up at any auctions?
They're too much. Funny enough, I do have one or two still hanging in the garage. I should have got.
Way. Oh yeah, I'd love to see them. You're good.
But I sold them for my best sale was for 3 guineas.
Wow.
That was kind of the done thing to sell in guineas, not pounds. Yeah. So yeah, a few friends who have been kind bought them, and but it was a lovely. A lovely thing to happen to get the painting sold. Somebody actually did like it. I think they liked it.
What were they of? What did you start off painting at that age?
Oh goodness, I just copied stuff out of books, out of photographs. More or less what I'm doing at the moment. Yeah, no, just I used to buy art books by the that was Christmas presents, whatever. It was an art book. I used to love There's an old chap called Adrian Hill. He used to produce lots and lots of art books. And then there were these American A3 size things with broadsheet of seascapes and whatever. So I used to love those. Yeah, and I'd copy those, and that was it. Yeah, that was the start of it. And
you think when you had that show when you were 11, did you know this was the path to your career? This is what I want to be.
Not at 11, but certainly it was a great taster. And at school, more academic studies took precedence, and art was kind of left behind. I suppose because art was never really regarded at the school I went to as being, useful in terms of career-wise. I mean, really quite naive of them, I suppose, to even not suggest it, but just to have that ethos in place that didn't allow you to explore art college.
Yeah, I mean, years ago as well, you couldn't make a good living out of art, so we weren't encouraged, I suppose, to continue it on, and it was more to get a trade first, and then you can fall back. I know that's what my family used to say if anyone wanted to go to art college. But I think it's different now with young kids in art college. They learn the business side of it.
Yeah, and the whole raft of jobs, if you like, are available in the whole business of creating and animation, film, advertising, whatever. It's a huge area, and it's very, very valuable.
So then, what did you? So you studied law then? Was it that what happened after you left?
I studied languages at A level, and the only way to escape school at that stage was to head off to university and do something which many of your predecessors had done before. And I was good enough and at languages and to get A's and B's and things at A level, and then there was a question of what do I do? What am I going to do with myself? And I hadn't at that stage a notion. Nobody had even put the notion in my head. What are you going to be? What do you think you'd like to be? And
there was no career guidance, people.
No, I suppose I wanted to be a professional golfer most of all, but that didn't happen either. But somebody said, "Look, go to Cambridge. You're good enough to get in," and I did. I got in, and what will I do there? Well, we'll try law. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll try that. And
no way, God!
It was like I remember getting a pile of books, the pile of books I was to study, and I'm not a great reader. I thought, God, I'm going to get through that lot. Never mind understand it all. So my year at Cambridge was.
Paint the pictures from it. Paint the pictures from the books.
Well, there wasn't a picture in the book. That was the trouble. It was awful. Sure, somebody said to me afterwards, "You never wanted to be a policeman anyway." So.
How long did that last for?
A year.
Okay. In Cambridge.
Yeah, I sat on the steps of the Senate House Library just before my fourth exam, criminal law or Roman law, whatever it was, and my head in my hands thinking, I know what's going to happen here. So my tutor kindly rang me up when I got home for the holidays and suggested perhaps it wasn't in my best interest to come back. So that prompted the question, what now, what next? And a few other false starts, but it was Mum who got me back.
So you moved back home then, did you, after that?
Yeah, I came back.
Directed you to go into the arts?
It was Mum. Mum said, you used to paint a long time ago, didn't you? And I said, yeah. You used to love it, yeah. So she suggested I think along those lines when I did, and I joined an A-level class at the local tech to get a body of work together. It was an A-level course to get a body of work together to take to foundation course in Jordanstown at the Poly then, and which is now part of the Art College. Did that, enjoyed it immensely. It was, painting, and I loved it. And I didn't realize I'd end up being,
artist, probably.
But obviously it was the idea, and then it was a case of where do we go after that, and somebody suggested London and the college there, and so I ended up at Goldsmiths, and was a very happening college. It still is, full of great tutors. Michael Craig Martin being one of them. He wasn't my tutor at the time, and I didn't realize quite what a powerhouse he is in the whole game of art. But others were Richard Wentworth and Basil Beatty, and I've forgotten the other guy's name who's pretty good. They're all top-notch artists. So I had a very interesting time there as quite a naive young, I wasn't young. I was 23 when I started as a sort of mature student.
Yeah, that was young. Yeah. And how long did you stay there for?
I stayed in London at college for the 3 years and then lived on there for about another 3, I suppose, after that.
So you had a good time?
Great time. I had some colourful characters, lived in halls of residence for a while, and lived with one guy who was a Morris dancing hippie who had a motorbike and his sidecar was a coffin.
Yeah, as you do. Are you still in contact with them all?
He would come back to college. He would go off and Morris dance for the weekends and then come back and come in and say, "Anyone for drugs?" So,
oh God.
Yeah, it was good crack, and a great place to be.
What were you really good at? Was it drawing and painting, or what?
I started my painting. I knew I was a painter. Really, nothing else really caught my. I just loved paint. Loved the feel of it. Just the whole business of painting. Goodness knows why. I never ventured down the 3D line. Few attempts at stuff like that at the foundation course, but just painting was my thing, and it always has been. I've loved it. So yes, Goldsmiths was a curious place because there was so much happening there that wasn't to do with painting, and painting was not frowned upon, but perhaps wasn't regarded then as being, I think it was like a dying art form. It never will be, of course, but I was mixing with guys and girls who were doing extraordinary things. There was one guy I was I shared a studio space with, who was building a mock type telescope out of old LPs. Another guy was building a cardboard motorbike. People who went on to do, or be selected for the Turner Prize, like Julian Opie and here's the other, I can't remember. Anyway, a few good folk in that respect who were right at the cutting edge of the modern British.
That must have been great, to be part of all that as well.
Great to be part of it, and great to be in a city where art is there to be seen, and it's by and large free. It's fantastic. I mean, it's.
And what happened then when you left college? Did you did you come home, or did you want, did you just start showing work with galleries? Because you have been with galleries a long time.
I have, with you.
You have.
Back in the good old days. The bad art gallery. Bad art for you.
the fun times.
Yeah.
20 years ago, it's been a long journey, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been a long journey. I mean, I've stuck at it, and I've found ways of existing as an artist. I mean, I've do commissions. I've got commissions. Most notably, just recently, I got a lovely commission to do the final day scene of the at the British Open, the golf tournament at Portrush last year.
Brilliant.
So that's kind of one of the other sides, if you like, of my work, which is much more photographic, for want of a better word.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, COVID came along and sort of stole any opportunity of making the most of that fact that I'd done it, and I was hoping to turn it into a print, perhaps, but we'll have to see. That may happen, and that whole idea of making money from the golfing community, perhaps, is on hold.
Can I ask how did lockdown affect you? I mean, did it, a lot of artists have said that it didn't really change a huge amount because that's their life, but they did feel the first couple of months they couldn't get inspired to do a lot of pieces they wanted to do, but they have experimented with different mediums. Did anything change for you?
Well, lockdown was an incredibly interesting time, obviously. I've got some props here I'm going to show you in a minute to do with lockdown. And it brings me in the sense that I eventually plucked up the courage to go back to painting with oils, which I hadn't done for a long, long time. Okay. And that was what I did for a little bit of lockdown. For the most of lockdown, I was living in a state of fear and trepidation about dying within 4 weeks. And
and here we are.
There's going to be an economic collapse, a world economic collapse, which may well happen yet.
Just a few more weeks now from that.
And I'll show you what the lockdown was. Here was lockdown, right? Those were some of the matches about.
Are they matchboxes?
They're full of matches, yeah. And in case the matches, I'm going to do some pyrotechnics here. In case the matches ran out, and incidentally, they've happened to my daughter the other day. But in case the matches ran out at one of these, look.
Okay.
We want to have one.
A little kit there as well.
A magnesium block and lighter.
Oh my God.
A survival book.
So you had a bunker built in the garden. You went that little bit further.
Food for free, foraging. Garden, extra supply of shotgun cartridges.
Oh my God.
I honestly was a little bit afraid that, we'd have to start shooting pigeons or neighbours if they got a bit testy. I don't know. It was weird. Anyway, yeah, I got one of those there, and here as well. I don't know. I was as guilty as the rest of them. We went out and bought flour, thinking we'll make bread.
Yeah.
How many baps did I make? None.
We had all these expectations that we were going to bake and cook special foods. Never worked.
I know. But here, on a serious sorry, go on.
You changed from acrylics to oils with lockdown. Did the actual work change itself? Did you try? Was this a new series, the landscape and the trees?
Well, they've come about as a result of that. Yeah. What I did when I went, well, we had my mother living here with us during lockdown, which was an interesting experience, never to be repeated. I'm not very much if you well, so that kind of stole into any creativity, basically. Apart from panicking and thinking I've got to get my vegetable plot organized again, which I did.
Oh, you did get it. Good. That was good.
There's the other prop. See that machine there from the 50p shop? Brilliant. I managed to resurrect my plot and start growing vegetables. And we ate really well with the vegetables that we got out of it. But that's one. I just picked that today. That's one of the Cavallo.
I don't know what to say to that.
Lovely cabbage plant. That one's shot, but the new one's growing at the moment.
Oh my God! So are we going to see paintings of all these crops?
You might, Denise. Hold on a second. I want to show you right. Hold on. Where are they? Oh yeah, my carrots were the best. The best carrots I've ever grown this ever.
So did Frances help you out? Was she? Obviously Frances Ryan is your partner, who's a fantastic artist as well.
Yeah.
Was she feeling the same way, where she couldn't get inspired and was just trying to grow vegetable plants?
No, she just left me out. No, Frances is totally committed, day in, day out, 365 days a year. That's Frances. She works away despite. And it's funny how lockdown is was or still is. For us, it's really no different. We just work away during the day, and we're isolated anyway where we live. So lockdown wasn't such a strange thing. The only strange thing about it was the horror of it. That strange mix of feeling, off am I dying? And then going out in the sunshine and really having a lovely time out in the garden trying to get my vegetables going. But eventually I did. I got some paintings done and some drawings. The dogs.
Oh, let's see. Oh, wow.
Another one.
Oh, gorgeous.
And then I started painting the dogs as well, little ones.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, you know what I'm going to ask you now? Are you going to do dog commissions? Brilliant.
I'll do dogs. Send me your photographs. So
you don't mind doing commissions?
Sorry?
You don't mind doing commissions?
Oh, anytime.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have that on record now.
I would love to paint more dogs because I really enjoyed. They were done. A lot of them were done actually out in the garden because the dogs were we created an area out there for them to roam around and sleep and play and do whatever they like. And the collies being collies, they're very busy, and then they just go. So you get them when they're down, and they're very good.
And you see all this new work. That's where you walk the dogs, isn't it? All this is all local area.
It's Crawfordsburn Country Park, and it's just a fabulous. It's a hidden gem. It's gorgeous. I've always been drawn to it. Now this is the first time I'm really beginning to get stuck into the paintings. I would like to get down with Frances. We both want to get down there and do some en plein air or in situ kind of painting, because I think it might give you a new take. Because I have been painting from photographs all my days, and
have you never done plein air before?
Yes, I have. A lot, but not as a habit. It would be nice to have. I tell you what, I suppose if I were somewhere different, I would feel more inclined to go out if I were beside the Atlantic or down in Kerry or wherever. Round here,
Mm.
with the exception of the country park, I'm not really tempted to go out, to be honest with that. There's not much to paint for me here, I find.
But you have done quite a few residencies around Ireland, haven't you?
I've done them all, I think, except when
well, it was cut short in Achill, wasn't it? But yeah.
Yeah, well, the last one we were at was I did that fellowship at Ballycastle, which was, unfortunately my sister-in-law died, and we had to come home early. But yes, I've done Kilrealeek, Achill, the Heinrich Böll Cottage on Achill.
You've done the Tyrone one as well, have you?
Sorry?
Tyrone one, have you?
No, I haven't done that one. I don't think I'd be as drawn to it as I would be the others. All the others are out where I want to be, which is beside the sea and a cliff and whatever. This is a country house, but I think it might be an interesting experience, whole different format.
Yeah,
but I have really enjoyed being in the south of Ireland. I just love it. I could happily be there all the rest of my days if I could, as good friends. The Atlantic is something I yearn for.
Yeah. And do you find that when you are in artist residency that you're totally inspired and you're constantly sketching and painting?
Much more so than it would be here. You get into a kind of zone, and it's you're there to do that and nothing else. You have no other concerns. You don't have to go and
There's
with the exception of we haven't been in the residency since getting the collies, or have we? No, we left the collies behind last time and we're in Ballycastle, but I've lost my train of thought.
It's okay. So what you're basically saying, if anybody wants any dog commissions,
dog commissions, tree commissions, house portraits.
Absolutely. Gary, thank you so much. It's been such a wonderful evening chatting to you. I really appreciate it. And it's been fun to see what you found.
I don't want to keep on talking. Here, tell me this. What about
those vegetables, especially those carrots? They look amazing.
Oh, get your money for it. Here, what about you in your glasses? How many different pairs of glasses have you got?
You always have two on you anyway. I don't think you could fit anymore.
I think I've had three there. These are I tell you what, glasses. See, glasses. These ones cost £1. These ones were my prescription glasses, which I got made recently for £145.
Oh my gosh.
And I can't use them because when I look at the screen, I can see that's in focus, but that bit over there. And so I'm sticking to £1 glasses. And everything's in focus. No matter where your head.
So what you're saying is you're a cheap date. Good. Listen, Gary, thanks so much. Hopefully I'll see you in the gallery again soon. And thank you for a wonderful show this week. It's been so much fun.
Are you going to be open soon or what?
Yes, we are. We've been open since June.
All right, sorry. Well, that's
we're just doing the online shows every week, but we're open. We hopefully won't have to close again. Hopefully. Okay, I'll wish you a good night. Thank you so much. Bye.